important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.
And you're dreaming this machine at light speed. See, a lot of people start to shake is because they're losing their power. This machine works on the dream. How do I speak? I don't know. I push my eyes around and this thing focuses for me. Remember, this is an incredible, intelligent machine. If you think you can fix yourself or you go to a healer, I don't believe in that. Your body is an intelligent machine. It will fix itself. It will fix itself. All you have to do is take out what it doesn't need and give it what it does. That's it. It will fix itself. Cut yourself and watch it. It'll fix itself. You don't have anything to do with it. So this is actually one of the things that I like. And we've got several videos now since we just started this. We've worked with hundreds of people. And this is the reason why we did this, is because once people find out that there's other people doing this, everybody wants to go ahead and actually do terrain modification and see what happens to them. Everybody does. Let's go to the next one there. The body is a mind and body connection. And once you get the body and the mind working together, then you wind up getting a lot more pleasure in your lifestyle instead of the mind trying to override the body. It says, I don't want to do that, because the parasites live in the body, and the body, of course, is fighting against the mind. So once you sort of clean up your act, and cleaning up the act is making the body so it has 50% yourself, at least. Because once you lose critical factor of your own self, then realistically a lot of the ideas of you becoming healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise is not going to ever happen. And remember, if you try to kill anything in your body, that's not smart. Why would you try to kill something in your body once you find out it's a child? It was born inside you. Wouldn't you think that that would be the definition of your child? It's, you know, the life cycle we'll see in a minute here, the life cycle of the tapeworm, it's really, really high level. You swallow a little tiny egg. The egg goes inside and checks and sees. This machine checks and sees the egg if you're a viable host. It's not going to try to live if it can't. It's very smart. It'll pass on to the next, dries up, sweep it up, and someone breathes it in again. A third of most people's feces are made up of fluke eggs, all different varieties of tapeworm eggs. Most of the tapeworms kick out about 250 to 300,000 eggs a day. These things are replicating machines, okay? The overall reason why we're doing this, once we get healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, is so we can actually work on this, consciousness. You see a lot of people out there talking about consciousness. You can't talk about it. All you can do is experience it, first of all. If you try to talk about it, we know that you're reading it out of a book. You can only look back at yourself and look and see where you've come. And when you do see where you came, I used to eat 2 pounds of meat a day. I used to be a good hunter and fisher every weekend. And once you change your vibration, you can't kill anything. It doesn't work anymore. You seem now that everything is connected to yourself. Everything. Remember, everything is being breathed by something. Breathe again. That's you. You're multidimensional, multifractional. It's a big system. Let's go to the next one here. This is some of the ideas. This is the ultimate here. It's equation. Energy plus vibration equals consciousness. And this is the equation of variable realities. Everybody in this room has a different tune, which means you see, feel, hear, and different touch. So let's get everybody on the same program so we could actually share in a certain form that would be a little smarter than everybody on different programs and different stations. We're trying to rise to this idea of health, wealth, and happiness before we could become this idea of consciousness. These are some of the different levels of things that manipulate or pervert this idea of getting conscious. The sun, very important. Anybody that wears sunglasses in here is a grave mistake. Anybody that does. It took me 2 years to get off of the sunglasses. It means if you can't handle it, you got black mold in your intestinal tract, you have black mold in your veins. Okay, remember, the heart pumps out blood. It gets pulled in through the arms and legs. It starts out as an artery. Let's say if it's this big, it goes down into an arterial. It then goes into a capillary, which is in the hands and the feet. It turns around and it comes back into a venule, a little bigger, and it goes back into the heart into a vein. This is a closed loop system. And if you've got this and this plugged, good luck. That's why you don't like to do cardio exercise. Body fat is, remember, plugged system. If the system can't flow, then how do you think it's going to work? And so this is just a different idea. It's a different paradigm, really, to see. We talked about acids. We'll get into this a little bit. Demineralized. Demineralized foods. My dad's mother is 98 years old. Leon, how old were your mom and dad?
What's that?
How old were your mom and dad?
They made to be 88.
And your dad?
88. My mom graduated in March of this year.
If you can live to be in my children's generation to 80, that's pretty good. You know why? Because our DNA has been perverted after 3 or 4 generations, and our DNA is very weak. See, the older you are, the more virgin your DNA is. It has not been perverted as much. Okay? And the younger you are, you've got your vaccines with mercury, thimerosal. How many? Oh, up to 30, 35. Wheat, corn, and soy. All different types of false sugars. All these different types of I call perversions. Mercury fillings. Remember, the mouth, first thing to clean. Where do you do it? Another story. I can only tell people that I know that the United States wanted $10,000 to do my teeth. $10,000. And they wouldn't even use the materials that I wanted to use. They wanted to use a carbon-based cubic zirconia. I said, I'm trying to be away from carbon-based. So I used crystalline. Crystals. Half amethyst and half quartz. In a non-bisphenol A glue. The only thing we found out is that you can't use a crown in crystal because it vibrates too much and it keeps falling off. So we had to go back. So I have one crown, and I had to make that into a cubic zirconia, and that's what all he's doing now. But you know, remember, this is years worth of practice that these pioneering dentists are doing. So you have to do it across the border in Mexico. What was it, 5 minutes to get across to Javier's office?
3 minutes.
$5 at a taxi cab. Give the guy $3. You know, and when you go over there, you'll find out that what was it, 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock all day in the chair?
Yeah, he kicked my ass good, but it's worth it because, it's like Robert said, you need to start with the mouth and so on.
Well, you got teeth pulled out.
Yeah, I got a lot done, but that's my own fault. You've been in there for 40 years, so
Yep.
like I said, I feel completely different.
I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and almost everybody in this room had their wisdom teeth taken out. And if you don't take out the periodontal ligament, you've got a cavitation in there. Got mine all re-drilled, pulled out. I even had a piece of the tooth that was still in there, a wolf tooth. Okay, so he cleaned up my whole mouth, and let me tell you, it's a whole level of clarity difference. I don't feel like I need a lot of stimulants or all these other things because your body's always trying to figure out how to get neutral or trying to figure out how to, you know, like a person smoking cigarettes. Why does a person even smoke? They don't get high. Why do they smoke? What's an addiction? You're going to find out in a little bit. An addiction is a parasite behind the scenes. What feeds on the nicotine? And if you stop eating the nicotine, you know what? You gain 10 pounds, don't you? Why? Because that microbe that now you've cultivated eats sugar. And that exhaust is not as clean as the nicotine. Actually, tobacco is not so bad for you. It's all the chemicals and pesticides. Heck, some of the leading brands of tobacco have 4,000 different chemicals in them, other than tobacco. Heavy metals, cellular conductivity, we went through that. If you don't have conductivity in your cells, don't even waste your time on regeneration. You can't. See, I hurt myself in 1997. I broke my nose, my cheek, chipped my teeth, broke my cheekbone. I fractured my navicular bone, wore a cast for 6 months, pulled my nerve off my tenale, off my ulnar nerve. I pulled my bicipital tendon off and herniated and crushed 2 discs in my low back, which were non-fixable. I broke 3 ribs in an auto accident. And so, as Glenn, how many bones have you broken?
Too many.
Okay. And you only get a chance sometimes to change is because you have to. I stopped practicing immediately once I got into this in this auto accident, because now I'm on the other side of the fence. I have these orthopedic surgeons that want to weld my L4, L5, L5, S1 and go ahead and actually do a laminectomy fusion. I said, great thing. 50% of the people actually don't get any better. They actually get worse. 25% get better, and 25% stay, actually 50% stay the same, 25% get better, and 25% get worse. That's not good. Really bad odds. Just like your stockbroker. They win either way. It doesn't matter. Electrical magnetic fields. This isn't a tri-field meter. It's different. What I did was I made a super sensitive model. I call this the X33. 33 feet's an atmosphere, isn't it? You'll notice that the Rosicrucians use 33 levels of their supposedly levels of seniority, the 33. You ever heard of 33 longitudinal, 33 latitudinal, not on the Greenwich meridian, but the Paris meridian, leaves you to Jerusalem? 33 is a special number. So I called this the ethereal meter, the 33, because it measures invisible energy. You'll find out that 33 is important to the brain, because that's what you're really trying to do, is make this body turn into 33 cycles, this left side of your brain 33 cycles, and this right side of your brain, which you can get an ECG. Once the left and right side of the brain become one, that means they've both reached 33 cycles. That's when you get equanimity of the left and right side of the brain. So wearing sunglasses right now can't even get you past 8 cycles. It can't. It's impossible. All you have to do, again, is buy an electrocephalogram, and you'll see